formal gowns from 4 decades of artistic galas and premieres, and pantsuits for the 1980s and 90s career woman with boxy jackets and silk scarves and gold jewelry big enough to be noticed but not large enough to be garish. My mother's friends always used to compliment her taste, tell her how elegant and pulled together she seemed. Those friends would have been shocked at how, in the months leading up to the current crisis, she took to wearing my late stepfather's oversized jeans and shirts because she could not, or would not, do laundry for herself. At the bottom of the basement steps, I discovered a mountain of dirty clothes, tossed down the stairs and left to fester. I find emotional snares, as well as mousetraps, scattered throughout the house. My mother has been a mystery to me all my life, an unpredictable presence who made sure I was fed and clothed, but otherwise hovered out of emotional reach. Now, as I excavate the ruins of her material life, I find clues, artifacts in situ that offer glimmers of who she might have been. With an artist's eye, she gravitated to fine and expensive things. My mother shopped to make herself feel better, to feel she had value in the world, to feel love and to express it. She excelled at giving practical gifts. She used to say that you needed the best equipment for the job. Much of the clutter I have to dig through consists of the tools of her various trades. She can't use them now. In my old bedroom, her library fills 3 walls of shelves. To browse the books, I have to climb over archive boxes, bags stuffed with half-finished knitting projects, an old doll carriage, a sewing machine, shoeboxes that house the extensive collection her closets can't contain. I count 500 cookbooks, at least, heavy on Mediterranean cuisines. Others speak to Mom's salt-of-the-earth side, books on how to pickle things, books of chutney recipes, books of local favorites from tiny New England towns. My mother used to buy cookbooks the way some people buy mystery novels or romances, always hungry for more, even though she made only a handful of the recipes. Making new things wasn't the point. She hungered for the contemplation of lovely food served in elegant settings. The contents of the other sets of shelves surprise me more. The Tolkiens and Le Guins and Lloyd Alexanders of my childhood have been displaced by a self-help library that catalogs attempts, over decades, to make sense of a disordered emotional life. Mom lived around the corner from a good public library, but rarely went there to borrow something to read. Instead, she propped up the self-help publishing industry seemingly by herself. She bought books on how to cope with being the adult child of an alcoholic, books on how to manage anger, books on how to make a marriage work, books on how to be a successful woman entrepreneur. Meanwhile, her life, as I knew it, continued its unpredictable run: angry moods, marital strains, precarious finances. Finding her self-help library made me wonder if she'd possessed more self-knowledge than I knew. If so, it was too little, too late. From what I know about my mother, the extreme clutter that imprisoned her was a crisis years in the making. Here's a working theory. The lacks and chaos of her childhood fed a lifelong compulsion to comfort herself with things. Clutter, like emotional chaos, has a way of running in families, passed down like curly hair or blue eyes or musical ability. My mother's troubles with stuff began in Worcester, Massachusetts, where she grew up the oldest child of an alcoholic engineer and a housewife. She told me once that she and her younger brother and sister each got 1 pair of new shoes for the school year. No wonder she envied the purses and chic shoes of the wealthy girls from Shrewsbury Street. More than material things, however, she must have craved stability, something in short supply with an alcoholic father and passive, often critical mother. So she found an escape. She used her talents as a pianist and organ player to put Worcester behind her and secure a spot at Oberlin's Conservatory. As a child, I was in awe of my mother's creative side. I would go to sleep.